Hello and welcome to CLEA'S WORLD. Today's video marks the beginning of a new session, and I am so excited to share this session with you as I have been of sharing every other session, but it's always exciting to start a new session. I am always excited to connect to the 25th, and while I connect with them continuously, and I hear them and they answer questions even when I don't even realize that I have a question in my mind, or somebody's asking me a question, all of a sudden they're butting in and telling me telling me stuff. It's always fun to connect with them. But I have to tell you, I do love these hypnosis sessions because it's like having this very high level conversation with someone. And we are surrounded by so much nonsense. I hear so much nonsense all the time, as I'm sure you do as well, that it's very refreshing to actually have an intelligent conversation every once in a while. So I look forward to sharing all these videos with you. This was another great session, in my opinion, and I'm really looking forward to hearing your comments and what you think and where you're at. As usual, I love to hear from you. Please do make sure to share with me. All right, so my usual quick explanation of how this is going to go in case this is your first time tuning in. This is a hypnosis session, BQH Hypnosis, and I'm going to be reading from a transcript of the session. And when I refer to Lorrayne, I'm speaking of my practitioner who's asking me questions I prepared in advance of the session, unless she otherwise states, in case they come from one of you guys, for example. And when I refer to me, I'm speaking of myself under hypnosis, which means that the answers are coming from the 25th. All right, let's jump in. So this is the very first part after she's finished. Lorrayne has finished her induction so that I am nice and relaxed. and so we always get an initial message, which is typically what the 25th wants to show to us that is of uttermost importance to them to share with us. So Lorrayne, we are joyfully connecting with you and we await your wisdom. Do you have anything that you would like to share with us now before we begin with the questions? Me. Yes, so they're showing me that we are working on this recall, and it's the recall of this thing. And they're showing me the planet as if it's a ball, almost like a beach ball size planet. And I'm standing by it and I'm doing this gesture with my hand, almost like I'm sprinkling dust. Really, it's more like sprinkling a little water on something. This is what I saw myself doing on this planet, Earth planet, that looked like about this size. I'm not sprinkling dust, but that's a gesture I'm doing with my hand, almost like making something magic happen. And the entire agenda of this thing, which is not just about the thing, it's about everything that's been built on this planet that would allow something like that to exist. So we want to remind you, this thing is not just one thing. It's not just one problem, whereas there are thousands or hundreds of thousands of problems here. Like, for example, there was a person in our Telegram group that mentioned, oh, do I need to enumerate all these other evil things that have taken place here, like patriarchy or mortgages, or, all the ways in which we've been enslaved? And this was a fair question, which she was trying to say, why are we focusing on this one thing? There's so many issues. And so the 25th basically was taking this as an example of what we tend to do. So he's saying it's not about this one issue, it's what this issue represents. But let me continue reading the answer from that. These are not multiple issues. It is one issue. It's been the system. It's been the way the dark has played the game. And we've said this many times. It was a misunderstanding. And the way we have supported this game, it would have not happened otherwise. So this recall is not about the thing at all. Because if we change nothing else but remove this particular thing, this particular B, if nothing else changed, nothing would change. Everything would still stand. What this B, I'll call it B because otherwise I'm doing exercise here. What this B symbolizes is the fact that it is okay to destroy our bodies. It is mandated that we destroy our bodies. We have no freedom whatsoever here. Basically, the dark is even more all-encompassing than what it actually is in the system. However, this is what it means when we talk about the recall. that we are taking our power back at a conscious level. We have realized, yes, we have supported this. There is no judgment. We have. All of us have supported this. But now we know better and we no longer support it. As simple as that. And so now we're going to see that because we no longer support it. Without support, it will just crumble. And it's not just AV. We've already said, for example, we've already spoken about the death of the queen as an example of this. That's not the only example either. Many, many things are crumbling in the background. And sometimes we see glimpses of it because all we see is glimpses. And these glimpses, even then, look how quickly they're coming, one after the other. Boom, 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 boom. Why? Because it is not about the V. That's just our signal that we've changed the polarity. And really, what is happening is that every system that was created that culminated in this B, but it could have been something else. It doesn't have to be AV. In the idea, in the regime where we found ourselves, where it is normal and even welcome for many people to say, this is such a great idea. Not only we should do this to ourselves and our children, but we should also make everybody else do it. It doesn't matter what they think or what they say. And we should shun them. We should shun them, berate them, belittle them, isolate them, and punish them if they don't do this to themselves. Do you see? We said this many times before. We don't realize we cannot even wrap our minds around this. And we don't want to wrap our minds around this. The extent, the sheer extent of what we have going on here, what we've had going on here. All of that is the past. It's all finished. We're just seeing it little by little percolate into the conscious awareness of people that it's finished. There is no support for any of that. There's not even the dark to support it. We already said there's only a handful of people on the side of the dark. There's only a handful of people in the middle that would support these things. We are no longer supporting it because we have also supported it. We want to repeat that because many like to believe that we on the side of the light are innocent, what we consider innocent on this planet. But just to complete the image they were sending me. So I'm doing this gesture of almost like a magician, intending on this ball or a beach ball size earth. And what's happening is that it's all the light. It's almost becoming lighter. It was gray. There was like this gray fog around it. And all of a sudden there's this light coming over and the fog is dissipating. And then I turn around and I see what is supposed to be source. So it looks like a giant on my left. And then there are all these people watching, which symbolizes the rest of the universe, the multiverse. They're little people. They're little people compared to this giant figure, which is supposed to be source. And so all these people far away, basically, I'm looking, it's almost like I'm standing in space looking at planet Earth. So I turn around, everything is dark, but I can see God and I can see these people from the multiverse. And basically I'm walking away. And I was walking away from the planet. So I had this beach ball and then planet. And then as soon as I did this and basically the light got rid of the fog, basically I was done. So I turn around and give my back to the beach ball and I see God looks like, I don't know, must have been like 30, 40 times my height, gigantic on my left. And then I see all these little people on my right, and they're all watching. And it's almost like I'm walking away from planet Earth, like I'm done. So this is what the image looked like. But let's continue reading here. So I turn around, everything is dark, but I can see God and I can see these people from the multiverse. And basically I'm walking away. And what this symbolizes, what they're showing me is that once we do this, we are done. And everybody's cheering because we have done. Basically, we put behind us another huge step in our history within the multiverse. And it's huge and it's a job well done because despite the fact that it's not a good thing that we've had to do this, we said this many times, it's finished, it's accomplished. We did clean up eventually in the sense of we did complete it. What we would say here is you put a bow on it and it's done, it's finished, and that's it. So once that happens, that's it. We are done with what we wanted to do here. Again, we don't mean this to say it means the second they recall the V, the next day we're leaving. That's really up to us. I think by now, if we learned one thing, is that we decide everything here. But it does mean that that is the thing, because again, it is not about it. but it is the representation of everything that is going to happen, or that is happening, or that has happened behind the scenes. Everything that has crumbled for us to get to that end point. We think of it as just one thing that has to happen. It is not one thing. Basically, we're taking down, within limits, we're taking down this entire system. And I say within limits because we still want to maintain, we discussed this before, we still want to maintain the shell, the semblance, the appearance that a lot of things are still in place. They are not. They are not. Everything is a shell, just like people are shells. All these systems are shells now. There are only few, I want to remind you, there's only about 50 million essences left at this time. If you could see with your eyes, you wouldn't see people for miles and miles around you. Most of the world population is gone. Who's maintaining these companies? NPCs will do what they have to do, but the intention is not there anymore. NPCs cannot support ideas anymore. Therefore, they cannot support their corporations anymore. The reason corporations exist is because we were supporting them. So what essences are supporting these corporations? They cannot survive. We already know a lot of corporations, a lot of companies are not surviving. They don't tell you it seems like a small problem. Oh, they're just looking for people and can't find them. It's not a small problem. Even the people that are left there, they're not the people that they had before. These are people without essences. It's only a handful of people in an entire corporation. You might have hundreds of thousands of people working for this one company, but how many people are actually there, actually working, actually steering things in a certain direction? Not many. We already know that people at the top, most of the dark is gone. Who's steering these corporations? So you see, they're doing things because of course it's routine, but there's nobody actually supporting the existence, the survival of that corporation anymore. As in, I want this corporation to survive because we do like to believe we need this corporation for the system. We don't need it. We're keeping the shells going. That's all. We are calling the shots. Really, it's not even we. I am calling the shots. You are calling the shots. It only takes one. In fact, Claire just mentioned that yesterday in the group. It only takes one. So when they show, for example, in this case, they're showing me doing this gesture, is because there is one. There is only one. And so imagine how we multiply that. We are one together. Our entire intent is on this. I mean, this is fabulous. And they were laughing excitedly here. Because the 25th has very much been following this. We were not supposed to be doing this. This is totally like beyond 12th hour. And so this is exciting for everybody to see that we are capable of doing this. It truly is amazing. I mean, this is unheard of. This is why everyone is watching. This is incredible. Already was incredible before when we were planning the takedown. The fact that we're doing this now is beyond incredible. Everyone, the entire existence, the entire multiverse, the entire everything, source, the 25th, we are all watching this. It's a great show. And they were laughing. I love it. It gives me the chills every time I read this. I mean, I love it. I am so proud of us. I just can't, I'm going to stop here. Otherwise I can start gushing, you know, for a while. I grasp because I connect so often and I've connected to source. And again, I grasp the excitement of what's going on behind the scenes. I know it doesn't feel that way here at 3D level. I know I'm human too. And it feels dreadful and it feels like never ending. We're like, okay, let's move on. When are we moving on? This is all the same. This is all, but it isn't. It really isn't. And I know that if you tune in, you feel it as well because we are one. And so if I feel it, you feel it. So that knowledge, that realization is there for all of us because again, we're all sharing the same energy at the end of the day. So the question is, are we looking with our 3D eyes and everything looks the same to us, or we're actually going inside and feeling into things? The 25th, I said before that one thing we do here, because this is how we want to live here. There is no judgment. But one thing we do here is just look at things. And they tell us we forget how to feel into things to see what's actually real and what's not real. So, all right, Lorraine, that is incredible. Well, of course, my awareness was that the V was certainly not the entirety of the evil system, but the visual. I've been struggling with the concept of the recall of the V because that to me was Well, I don't know. I was struggling with doing the meditation work around it. I can certainly, and I'm powerful enough to do that, but I was struggling with how to visualize that. This picture of observing the earth and watching as we, for lack of a better term, blow the evil dust off of earth and transform it into the light, moving that mist, the fog, and clearing earth into a state of lightness. I love that. And thank you for that visual, because now I can amp up my energetic work. Me. We'll just comment on one thing you said. You said, I'm powerful enough. You are not powerful enough, Lorrayne. You are all powerful. Don't forget that. It's not you. It's not about you. You are one. You are source. This is how powerful you are. You have created all of this. I love that. All right, guys, I'm excited. I don't know if you can tell, I'm very excited. I think everything is turning. I think everything has turned already. And I can just feel it. Oh my gosh, it's so good. All right, Lorrayne, yes, I'm always aware that it is all of us as one. Okay, because you mentioned the NPCs, I have a question about the bodies. And I know you have answered a million times the questions about the bodies, but this is a burning question. Okay, you said that there were a lot of bodies here before essences decided to come to Earth. This is illogical in my framework of how I'm thinking. Although you have explained that they were here, and because they've never received an essence, they were just existing in the hologram. Okay, because you have said they cannot leave current Earth with the essence now, because the body would not function. My question is, this is a universal holographic projection. Is it plausible to say, because you said that when Earth goes down, when this hologram disappears, the bodies disappear too? Are the bodies simply a creation, a projection, no different than a chair or a house? Me. Yes, they're not real. We project our bodies. We can project our bodies. Yes, they are a figment of our imagination, if you wish. Lorrayne, thank you. That was my understanding. But with all the talk about NPCs made my mind go in another direction. Thank you for the clarity. Me. Of course, we have created these bodies. And what we mean by created is, it's not like manufactured the way we think of it here. Because we think it's like a robot. You manufacture it. We have imagined these bodies, just like we imagine planet Earth. Gaia, of course, is an essence, but she's imagined this body. We've imagined her body. None of this is real. That's why we'll just dissolve. It's not going to be destroyed as is something material that gets destroyed. There's nothing to destroy. We just move our focus. Therefore, this reality no longer is. And they have said to us a million times that the only way to collapse a reality is by removing our focus and attention from it. And if you think about it, if this is holographic, which we know it is holographic, then of course, the second you are bored with it, you turn your head, you focus on something else, and this collapses completely. So this very much resonates with me, and I am so happy that they never miss an opportunity to remind us, because I know that at 3D level, it's hard sometimes, because we do want to be in this game, we do want to pretend this is real, and therefore we tend to forget. So I can definitely use the reminder. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much, as always, for watching, liking, and commenting, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.